Remember all the fun and joy of your favorite game or childhood toy. If only you could feel that way again. Well, you don't have to go back in time, 'cause Nick and friends can help you find long lost treasures you once loved. Let's go hunting nostalgia.
This episode of Hunting Nostalgia, it is very, very close to my heart. Very, very personal episode. It was filmed in my hometown of Mars, Pennsylvania. Mars, Pennsylvania is an amazing town. It's famous for a couple different things. Number one, Kingpin, the movie with Bill Murray, Woody Harrelson. It was filmed throughout this entire town. Number two, we are the leading town on the planet as far as outer space puns go. I won't use them, I won't. But today, what I'm here to do is I am here to look at one of the most amazing Masters of the Universe collections that you would ever see in your entire life. Just right down the street from where I went to high school, grade school, elementary school. It is absolutely amazing. It is out of this world. Sorry, I won't do it again. Regardless, this collection of what you're going to see today, you are not going to believe it. It is actually a merchandise display. He has the figures, sure. He has Castle Grayskull. He has all of those different accessories. But what I'm really interested in is the weird stuff. The stuff that you don't see everywhere. The store displays, the merchandise, the clothing. You are not going to believe what my friend Brian has to show today on this episode of Hunting Nostalgia with Nick Bartley. Today, I am at the home of my friend Brian. But first, I want to talk to his wife Rose, because I believe the wife of a collector is the most tolerant human in the world, or a husband of a collector. They put up with a lot, they really do. But, Rose, tell me, you and Brian met in high school. You're high school sweethearts, right?
Correct, yep.
And you actually shared a passion for hunting and looking for stuff, antiques, at yard sales with him. Mm-hmm. So you're part of this too. In a way, you love this as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah, when we met in high school, and he's always been a collector. So one of the things that we would do together is go to different yard sales or flea markets and that sort of thing, and just kind of find vintage antique stuff.
While bonding together. That doesn't always happen. It is not always the case. Sometimes you bring a pile of dirty stuff home and your wife just isn't a massive fan of it. But the first time I ever spoke to you, I spoke to you about Brian's collection. And you couldn't stop smiling at, I believe, it is his passion. I know that maybe the Masters of the Universe, He-Man and Eternia, maybe they're not your thing. But Brian loving something and being so passionate had to be something that attracted. I'm sure that is exactly how he feels about you. That had to be a massive attraction, was his passion for life in general. It had to be. Tell me a little bit about Brian and his passion.
Wow, he likes a lot of things. He loves He-Man, obviously, but he is a collector of all kinds of things. So, it's just fun to see him excited about things. And, when a package is delivered, most of the time it's not for me, it's for him. We know our mailman very well. And, but it's nice that he gets excited about things and enjoys doing things together, too.
It really is. It really brings him back to being a little kid, And I think I'm a little kid. Everyone who's ever known and seen me do absolutely anything, my personality is I try to hold on to those feelings of nostalgia as long as I possibly can, because they make me feel fantastic. Brian, your husband, his collecting started with his father. That was a bond that he had with him, which we're going to get into later. But if you had to pick one time that you guys went out, something that you remember that you did with him, one hunt, one thing that you found that you love, what would that have been? Do you have any?
A couple of things, but
Okay.
one thing that I was always drawn to from an antique standpoint are stained glass. So
Oh.
we would always look for stained glass that was, you know, not cracked and that sort of thing, you know, aged
Okay.
over time. And he surprised me actually for when I graduated college.
Wow.
He got me 2 stained glass windows. So
Oh my goodness.
and we have them on display upstairs still. So it's very sentimental to me.
Wow. See, that's what it's all about. It's all about a feeling. It doesn't matter if the item is worth $1 million. It doesn't. I mean, I've seen items here that that have 25-cent price tags on them, and I know that. I mean, I've seen them a million different places, but I know that they mean something so special to Brian, and that's why I'm here. I'm here for his feelings, and I cannot thank you enough for sharing just a little bit. Now, I can share in that feeling with Rose and her husband Brian, whom you're about to meet right now, and I like to call him the Masters of the Universe Merch Man. Rose, thank you so much.
Thanks, Nick.
By the power of Grayskull, this man has the power. I'm going to introduce you right now to the Masters of the Universe Merch Man, Brian. Brian, I have in my entire life never, ever, ever have seen a display this beautiful, ever. Why He-Man? Why?
It brings back my childhood. I remember Christmas and birthday mornings and just waking up and opening up presents.
Masters of the Universe style.
Yes, He-Man presents.
It's inspiring to see this. And this story begins with you and your dad, right? I mean,
Yes.
This was something that he kind of instilled in you, was the passion for collecting.
Yes.
Oh, so what I want to look at first is I want to look at something that is extremely, extremely special. And this is a collection collected by Brian and his father. So we're going to look at actually their bond together right now.
Brainless idiots, you couldn't even beat a motley group of gnomes!
Here in the basement of the Masters of the Universe merch man, Brian, I wanted to start at the very, very beginning. The origin of his love and his passion. And this is it. This is the case that you share with items that you collected with your father, right?
Correct. Yes.
Which item, if you had to pick one item in here that immediately brings you back to a time and a moment with your dad, which item would it be?
Probably those tin cars in the front. I just remember when I was a young kid going into the attic and pulling out the boxes and finding those old vintage tin cars and playing with them. It brings back memories, and that in reality got me into Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels cars when I was a kid.
So is that the first thing you collected then? Was the Matchbox and Or was it all at the same time?
It was at the same time.
Did your dad know you were in the attic playing with his toys?
I don't think so. No, he would have been upset because those were his when he was a kid. So.
Oh my God. Well, you want to talk about passion. The first item that I ever considered, keeping and realizing I want to keep this my entire life is actually a quilt that my aunts, my mom, my grandmothers, they all put a little piece of this quilt together. You got your baby boots in there, Brian.
I do.
You're holding on to them forever.
1970, and behind that is a little brass booty too.
Oh, is that your booty?
That's my
my
exactly.
gosh. Oh, the love. That's what it's all about. It's all moments of memories of love. And there are some things in here that I see that are right in my area. First off, you have the muscle men up there.
Yep.
Right here, I want to know, what are these little, I see Abbott and Costello. I see some really old science fiction movies. Abbott and Costello is one of my absolute favorites. What are those?
Those are old reel-to-reel movies, and those are also my father's. And there's Woody Woodpecker in the back, and we never used to watch those, but he's kept them. So I think they're really neat. Pulling them out and checking them out.
That is absolutely amazing to me, and I really wanted to touch on this case specifically because you have to know the beginning before you see the amazing display that you're about to see. But first, I actually want you to have a moment of nostalgia with my friend Elvira.
Hey everybody, and thanks Nick. This is Elvira from the Doll Circle, and today on A Moment of Nostalgia, we're on location in Longwood, Florida with Davey from Davey's Toys, my favorite toy shop in Florida, probably in the whole universe. It's pretty awesome. And today we're talking about She-Ra. Now this is not from my personal collection, this is items from his awesome toy shop, and let's get into it, I guess. There's so much to look at. So from 1985 to 1987 is kind of what we're looking at today for the She-Ra toys and fashion action figures, which I felt like was an interesting way that they put that online. They're not just action figures, they're fashion action figures. So how did you get some of these awesome pieces for your store?
I picked them up at a couple collections that people brought into the store, sharing their childhood collections.
Sharing their memories with you?
Yeah.
Sharing their memories with you?
Yeah.
With She-Ra, Mattel brought in something new. They took their Barbie influences, because in the 80s, Barbies was doing so well. So they decided to kind of take some of that influence, mix it up with the He-Man world, and create She-Ra. And to me, I love that it opened it up to multiple audiences, not just people who loved He-Man. Because for me, originally, I saw this and I was like, oh my god, the Crystal Castle's so cute. It's like, you know, it's a castle, not just Barbie's dream house. So it's mixing different influences in that. And I felt like it was something that was very revolutionary at the time because boys and girls both played with it, and even to this day it's so iconic looking and it's something so different. Like, I can't think of another branding that looks similar to this, because like Barbie has doll houses and dream houses and things like that, and I can't really think of another aimed originally for girls, but like I said, now is for everybody. I can't think of another branding that does something as similar as what we saw with She-Ra for those 3 years, at least in this style. And not only does she have an awesome crystal castle, she has horses and tons of accessories that went with it. So it gave you almost that like playhouse, like dollhouse feel, but still gave us this superhero element to it because she had really awesome horses she could ride. I love the world of She-Ra because it was just like her tagline, for example, is she's the most powerful woman in the universe. And that's pretty awesome. And this, unfortunately, it's missing a lot of pieces. In the collection, it was very much loved. I just love the face on this, and I love that it looks like a traditional, like, almost like pirate ship, but a princess pirate ship. Can't believe some of these pieces that we're looking at today are 35 years old. Now, Mattel still owns the rights to She-Ra and He-Man, of course, and over the years they've made different variations and versions like the classic series, but something about the originals just really stand out to me. I mean, everything from the colors to the clear horses to the map on the table that you can have as an accessory for the house. Some of these pieces are just truly irreplaceable, and I'm so glad that we're able to share them with you guys today in this video. Enjoy this moment of nostalgia with me, Elvira from the Doll Circle, and Dave from Davey's Toys here in Longwood, Florida. So thanks again for having us in the store and filming here. And definitely check out my channel, you guys, the Doll Circle, and I plan on doing an episode, doing a full reveal of his store, which is absolutely amazing. Check out both of our social medias, which hopefully we'll have in the description down below. And back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Elvira. I'm not gonna lie, I watched She-Ra. But there's two items in here, Brian, that I gotta talk about. I've looked at them every time I've come down here, every time I've seen them. The lamp. You gotta tell me about that lamp.
Yeah, the lamp, I remember when I was first started on eBay, about the year 2000 or so. And it was on eBay, and I actually missed it because it didn't have the lampshade. So, and man, years and years went by before I found another one. And it was actually in some guy's private collection.
Oh, really?
And yeah, made some offers and he accepted it. Oh, it's a pretty rare piece.
See, now that is a touch on a part of collecting that I'm not in. I don't do online collecting, but it still generates that same feeling that I'm hunting for. It generates that feeling of nostalgia. When you would open up those packages, boom, Christmas morning.
Every time.
Every time. See, it's that same thing. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't. It matters what it actually means to you. Tell me about that store.
This is one of the one of the few pieces I've actually scored locally.
Oh, really?
A lady that lived about 2 hours from here had it. She bought and sold other items, other toys, and doesn't collect He-Man items. So I messaged her and drove out to Greensburg. But what's kind of funny is it's a stool, but it actually converts into a step stool.
Oh, a step stool.
So you
now
can go
you
to the
see,
bathroom.
it's odd. What this is, I live in the same hometown as Brian. Brian's from the tall part of town. I could have used this the whole day.
Not me, never. I was always tall enough for the stool.
Wow, well, there's another thing in here. I love store displays. Like, I love the gumball machines. There are two things in here. There's actually a card back for the gumball display, which is the eraser heads and little, you know what? I know I would have always gotten the little erasers. I would never have gotten one of the heads. But that is really neat. And down here, you have some more bubblegum Masters of the Universe characters. That is really neat. Now these things, whenever I'm hunting and I'm digging in people's attics and basements, you know, I have really come to terms with stuff like this. I'm probably not going to come across, but where did you get that?
Well, the card back came from a collector,
Okay.
and I've been buying the gumball figures for years. I have hundreds of them, and they come in a variety of colors. I've counted 26 different colors, and each set has 12 figures in it.
Oh my god.
So I will never have all of them, but I have a good start.
But you know what? There's always the possibility that you're going to find them. Store displays, merch. I mean, you're the merch man. There is something that I've noticed multiple times that I have seen that you actually have old store displays.
I have a couple.
Let's take a look at those.
Awesome.
Skeletor to King Randor! Skeletor to King Randor! Come in, you royal boob!
Out of the 6 amazing display cases that are in Brian's basement here, the one that attracts me the most is the toys. I mean, I love action figures, toys, and what's unique about He-Man and Masters of the Universe, it is actually the toys that came first. The toys came before all of the other amazing stuff that the Masters of the Universe had to offer. Brian, if you had to pick one guy, just one guy in this group that you had to have, no one else, who would it be?
I think my all-time favorite figure has to be Trapjaw.
Halt or face the evil hook of Trapjaw.
Trapjaw, Battlecat, and He-Man each sold separately, string not included.
That hook won't stop He-Man. Then Trapjaw will use his vicious claw. Still no contest. And Trapjaw will use his wicked laser. Even a one-armed army can't stop He-Man and Battlecat. You win this time, He-Man.
Trapjaw figure from the Masters of the Universe collection. He-Man and Battlecat figures each sold separately. From Mattel.
I loved how you could have the different accessory weapons that clipped into his arm, and then his jaw is just so powerful to just crush.
And
It was just awesome.
It's an amazing looking figure. My personal favorite always was the Faker. I love that figure. I'm not sure why, but I always was very intrigued by that. Now, there was a couple of things I've noticed in here. You have multiple merman. Merman. Is that what it is? Merman? Multiple merman?
Multiple
Okay.
merman.
What is the, like I see this one's head is different than that one. There's so many variants.
Well, as you can see on the belt, some belts are orange, some belts are green, and then there's different country variations as well. Taiwan, Hong Kong made figures, Malaysia. So every country has its own different variant of colors and styles.
Okay, now another one of my favorites was the Rattler figure you have, and you have 2 of them up there, but one of them has a red neck. What's that about, Brian?
Paint variation.
Okay, just
As simple as that, yeah.
Okay, and do I smell Stinkor? I mean, do I smell them?
If you open up the case, you can literally still smell Stinkor.
Oh my gosh, now I gotta take a whiff. I have to take a whiff. Oh, you
can still smell it.
That is hunting nostalgia. That, boom, immediately brings me back. Oh my gosh. Wow, well, we have to see the other stuff that you have here today, Brian.
Of course.
You're a loser, Skeletor.
As you can see, Brian's collection, it knows no bounds. But one thing is really neat to me are the store displays. Like, I remember walking in and seeing a store display, like I can't specifically remember seeing this display or a He-Man display. Now, do you remember walking in and seeing this?
I do not remember seeing this actual display in person, but since I started collecting a lot, I really wanted to get a couple of displays to have in my collection.
Well, they're absolutely amazing. Look at, you don't mind me picking it
Okay.
up, right? Okay. Look at Castle Grayskull and Man-at-Arms. This is insane. That is, to me, I mean, obviously, He-Man, the Power Sword, but when I think of Masters of the Universe, the first image that pops up in my mind is Castle Grayskull.
Very cool.
This is gorgeous. And you love merch. I know you love different odd things, kind of like I do. For wrestling, I love the weird stuff. I have a very tiny WWF 1989 fly swatter that I've never seen anybody else have. But this one here, this display is just He-Man. It's double-sided. Look at that, He-Man. But I got a question. I see Eternia here.
Yes.
What is
this? Is when these came out, they actually had cardboard discs that would snap in place.
Oh, really?
And they had, I think they had 3 or 4 different interchangeable characters you can put in there.
Oh, so
those I'm missing.
So is this a rare, or is that a rare display? Which
having this set is probably more rare than this. This piece is more available. The cardboard cutouts, not so much.
Okay, so on the other, have you seen them?
I've seen them I've seen them online, never in person.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, this is one thing I really could not wait. Look at that. That is not Prince Adam right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Master of the Universe. My goodness, that is so neat. Brian, this is a little bit odd, but I gotta see your PJs.
By the power of Grayskull, He-Man is here!
These are the pieces of collections that tend to deteriorate. They tend to disappear. But you have a ton of them, Brian. How many pieces of clothing are here?
55 or so. I'm going on 60, I think, by now.
Wow. Absolutely amazing, because this is the stuff that kids played in, that they ripped, that they destroyed, that eventually your father used as rags in the garage. But this is a time capsule. It's a time capsule of nostalgia that I'm going to go out on a limb and say that not many people have a collection of children's pajamas, He-Man oriented, Masters of the Universe.
No.
That's amazing to me. And they don't even smell. That to me is crazy. I'm a sniffer. I'm sorry. I just am. But these shirts are pretty pristine as well. You know, is there anything in here? I mean, you have backpacks down here. This stuff is absolutely disappearing by the second. Look at that Ram Man just plowing down Skeletor there. That's amazing. Think of the little kid in 1981, 82 that plopped their books in here and went to school feeling the power of He-Man. I mean, that's just, it's absolutely fantastic. And this display of the children's pajamas, like, what made you want to start buying and collecting pajamas? I mean, something you had when you were a kid.
I know I had some pajamas when I was a kid. I think it's just walking around the house wearing those pajamas brings back the Christmas morning feeling again. So I wanted to just buy them and find more, and it just turned into I have to have them all.
I have to have them all. The truest words any collector could ever speak. Now, I mean, you have them in the pack, you have them open here. You got Battle Cat, a little hobby horse Battle Cat. This thing is immaculate. Now, if I strap on this t-shirt here and I jump on Battle Cat, will I look like He-Man?
Come on, Battle Cat. An Eternian snail can move faster than this.
I want to thank you, fellow nostalgia hunters, for joining me on this very, very special, very close to home episode of Hunting Nostalgia. And I hope that you enjoyed Brian's amazing Masters of the Universe merchandise collection as much as I did. And I want to do a special thanks to Elvira Taylor from the Doll Circle with her moment of nostalgia. Coming from Mars, Pennsylvania, I feel like today was out of this world. Sorry, couldn't help it. Next time, join me on Hunting Nostalgia, Nick Bartley. You won't want to miss it.
Let's go hunting nostalgia.